Going from MSP to MVP is critically important. I think MSPs will start to realize, if they haven't already, that the focus on client centricity and on their outcomes is going to be a big differentiator for their future and for the future of the client. So I think this is why it's so important.
Welcome to TNT Bootcamp. I'm Chris Phillips with GTIA on location, and I am here with Luis Giraldo, Chief Evangelist at ScalePad, and we are excited to have you here, Luis.
Thanks, Chris. Always a pleasure.
All right, so Luis, what's new? What brings you to Bootcamp?
Oh man, Bootcamp is interesting, right? Because I think it's that event where MSPs really come to work on their business. I think there's a lot of history of MSPs working inside their business, spending a lot of time with the operational maturity, the efficiency and all that, but I think this is the place where they kind of get to separate a bit from that.
All right, so you had a session today about going from MSP to MVP and about how working from technology that works to results that win. You know, so it's got to be more than the tool stack, right?
You're correct. I think we've had a very inward-facing approach to the practice of being an MSP over the years. Focused on the tool stack, focused on the actual things that we do, the work, the tickets, and so on. But the reality is that clients don't buy tools, they buy outcomes. And I think we're in this interesting moment in time in our history where an inflection point is needed. Clients have realized a lot of MSPs look very similar to each other. They're kind of all doing the same thing. So what is the narrative they're telling? What is the story and outcomes they're helping customers achieve? And I think this is what they need to work on now.
So what do you feel is the biggest thing MSPs are missing that could bring them to an MVP?
I think it starts with a real curiosity and obsession about the customer's business, really trying to get a little bit deeper on how they operate, how they work, what makes them tick, and starting to create a narrative and work and initiatives around that. And not so much, I guess, the old school way to approach it, which is, hey, we standardize our stack, then if you don't buy our tools and our technology, you can't be a customer. I think those days are starting to get more and more difficult. And so I think MVP really starts with this idea of customer obsession and customer curiosity.
So is there a quick step or anything that they can do to get on that path to be an MVP?
Oh, 100%. I think even in the very next QBR or TBR that you might be doing with a customer, one of the things an MSP could do is simply start to elicit more of the client goals. And even if they have difficulty articulating goals themselves, many small business owners are accidental business owners as well, just like some MSPs are. And sometimes they need a little bit of a holding hand through articulation of some of their business goals. But the work that MSPs do is incredibly important. And if we can help them connect the dots between an outcome that is important to them and the work that MSPs are doing, I think that's a very simple thing they can do at the very next TBR, QBR that's going to further that agenda.
Awesome. So you're stepping into a GTIA board role. What are you hoping to accomplish?
Oh man, I've been a long time follower of, obviously back in the day, CompTIA, now GTIA. And I think the important thing that the board does with GTIA is the perspective. And from my viewpoint, a lot of what's important to me is connecting the dots between the vendor space and the MSP space. I think they often run in parallel, but not together. And so that's one important aspect for me, to be in the board and be able to maybe wear the MSP hat inside of the board role a little bit. So I'm excited about that.
All right, well, Luis, thank you for joining us. If you're watching online, be sure to check out our YouTube channel for more GTI on location videos, and stay tuned.